All right, so number 13 gives us this problem. We're asked to solve for theta. And so first we're going to look to see if we can get our trig function by itself. We can't without factoring this. So that's what we're going to want to do. We're going to want to factor. We're going to get it equal to 0, which it already is, and then factor this side. And here we can see that each of these terms has a cosecant in it. So let's factor out a cosecant. And then 2 cosecant theta divided by cosecant theta is 2. Over here we have square root of 3 cosecant theta. Secant theta divided by cosecant theta is going to be square root of 3 secant of theta. And that's equal to 0. So now we're multiplying two things together and getting 0. So the 0 product property tells us that one of these two things has to be 0. So we can set them to 0 separately. So we get cosecant theta equals 0. And over here we have 2 plus square root of 3 secant theta equals 0. All right, so when we have cosecant or secant, in order to put this on our, to find it on our unit circle, we want to put this in terms of sine or cosine. Cosecant is the reciprocal of sine. So let's take the reciprocal of both sides here. So the reciprocal of cosecant is sine. Now the reciprocal of 0, well, that would be 1 over 0, which is a problem. We can't divide by 0, so this is not going to give us any solutions. Over here, let's subtract 2 from both sides. We get square root of 3 secant of theta is equal to negative 2. Divide by square root of 3 on both sides. So we get secant theta is equal to negative 2 over square root of 3. And now we can do the same thing with this. Secant is the reciprocal of cosine. So if we take the reciprocal of both sides, we get cosine of theta is equal to negative square root of 3 over 2. So we've taken the reciprocal of secant, which is cosine, and the reciprocal of negative 2 over square root of 3, and we get negative square root of 3 over 2. Then we look on our unit circle, and we see that cosine is negative square root of 3 over 2 at 5 pi over 6, and it's 7 pi over 6. So that would be C for number 13.